Alright, Hokage, you a cool dude and all, but I don't even care. Nana, you said what? Before we hop into this chapter review of chapter 304 of My Hero Academia, please do me a favor, drop your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and here we are to review chapter 304 of My Hero Academia. And oh my. Here's the thing, I still hate quirk nonsense. I've accepted it as part of the system now, but fine, whatever. I'll just hold that L. I think the original way quirks worked was way better than the way we're going. But regardless of that, darn, do I even want to summarize this chapter? Okay, so we open up, and my boy, All Might, is talking about how I can barely sense it happening. It's inside of him. He's having a discussion with the One for All user. Same thing he said at the end of the last chapter. That's perfectly fine. I don't care about that. So we see this really interesting room. This interesting room where Midoriya, he's still alive. He's just in a state of near death. So he's managed to spawn a majority of his body. Like, he's able to stand. He has hands. He has a chunk of his head. He's here. He's vibing. Okay, all that's really, really cool. I love how the All for One users are like ordered. Like, you have the two prime ones, like the original, which is the younger brother of All for One, and All Might Division, which is sitting there. These two are the most prominent users of One for All, and that explains why they're so close to the center and in his direct line of sight. These two are the catalyst for many important things in the series, and it's great to see them ordered like that. I like how the people whose quirks that he's unlocked, at least in the case of, did he unlock that one guy's quirk? I'm not sure, I don't think so. But the users' quirks that he's unlocked in Danger Sense, in Float, and in Black Whip, they're all directly closer to him. They're closer to him than either the original users and even that one guy sitting right there, who we don't get the name of, at least at the moment. Let me think. Don't know. Midoriya didn't unlock that quirk. See, that's the thing. That's the issue with Midoriya having multiple quirks. I don't remember which one he unlocked. I don't think he unlocked the guy with the tall coat. I don't think he unlocked it yet. Hold on, let me check. Back from checking, he didn't unlock it yet, so I think it's cool. He doesn't have the quirks of the original wielders. Well, he kind of does, because All for One's ability to pass on is the original user's quirk, but I like how it's sort of ordered that way, and I like how there are two extra seats, and these two extra seats are empty for whatever reason, for these two guys standing in the back. Now, I remember there was a theory going around that Kirishima and Bakugo were the future wielders of the quirk, and that's who the extra two people were there, even though there have only been, I believe, about 6 previous One for All users. But there are two other people here. Who are these people? I'm not gonna lie, the one kind of does look like Bakugo if he grew his hair out and put it in a ponytail. He even has that weird bandana thing Bakugo wears sometime. And I can't really tell who this other guy is. I'm gonna be completely serious with y'all. Like, I think that may be Kirishima's same hair coloration, but regardless of that, that's cool. I'm glad to see him here. It's a really interesting panel, a lot of stuff in it. I wonder why certain characters just aren't there. It's because they're future wielders? Are they lying? Can they not see these other two people here? Like, this is too many people, unless there have been secret extra wielders of One for All that we don't know about, that the younger brother isn't trying to reveal just yet, so he has them in hiding. But regardless of that, Midoriya notes that, oh, I'm in another vision, obviously, and it looks like from what everyone is saying that this is fate, that they're all meeting together now because of what happened to Midoriya and how high risk of a life-changing situation that he was in. All for One's younger brother just casually explains that his power has been growing exponentially. And the reason I have a problem with this is because I thought quirks were supposed to get stronger over the generations, not like the generations of their users, but fine, whatever, bend the rules, whatever. Quirks were barely a power system anyway, so let's just keep breaking them and bending them. And the interesting thing is that apparently the power of the quirk is allowing him, basically these aren't really the real people that were the original wielders of One for All. They're essentially memories, or like copies. They're as he puts it, and with that increase in capabilities, profiles of the previous holders of One for All were copy and pasted, and over time we were able to communicate with one another as well. So I'm assuming these are beings that, I'm guessing the original wielders are dead. If you're dead, then, oh well, you are actually dead, but your consciousness, your thought process, your personality, they're all copied in the quirk, and it allows you to use them. It's basically like the same save profiles that Shigaraki was talking about that exist within All for One, which is cool touch. A little extra bit, fine. I'm perfectly fine with that just being the nature of quirks that are able to be passed on. They're able to not prevent, but hold information of the previous users. That's a fine development. I'm cool with that. And I like how the brother mentions that the only last time they encountered was when All for One was trying to pull up and yank the quirk right out of him. But the cool thing is that now that they're all here, they can talk to him more often, but they just won't spy on him, as the Black Whip user says. And another thing to note is that Midoriya is slowly manifesting in the realm better and better. Now, the interesting thing is, Shigaraki was able to manifest in the realm entirely. He was there. The only thing was, the only real visage image that someone similar to Midoriya had was All For One, since that was a copy-paste file of All For One, I'm assuming. So that means that vestige of All For One wasn't complete, but Shigaraki was complete. And I'm assuming this has to do with his assimilation to All For One, and it seems like All For One hasn't fully settled inside Midoriya yet. Sure, it seems to last with him a lot better, but I feel like this incorporeal form isn't what it's supposed to be like if he was fully merged with One For All. I'm assuming full mergement is him unlocking every last quirk, which is interesting. I can't wait to see that. However, then we cut to this guy, the Danger Sense user, Shinomori Hakage. And all this is basically, in short, of him saying, this is the explanation that One For All cannot be passed to quirk people. Like, if you're a normal person, which in the My Hero Academia world is having a quirk, you can't have One For All, because it'll literally kill you. As they describe it, it's basically like overflowing a cup. Like, if you have a cup that already has water in it, and you pour more water in it, which would be the quirks of One For All and One For All itself, then you're going to overflow, and your body is simply not going to be able to handle it. And that explains why their bodies break down. It explains why Midoriya's body broke down every time he tried to use the power, because there was so much extra power. Same thing with Shigaraki. However, it still doesn't explain why All Might was the special exception. It doesn't explain why All Might was a special exception to the rule of the body breaking down because of the overwhelming power. Is it just because he was bigger than Midoriya at the time? I'm not exactly sure. But regardless of that, we find out that the One For All quirk needs to be passed to quirkless people, but quirkless people are becoming more and more rare with time, and thus things are getting dangerous. And this means that One For All may be in its last stages. Its final user will likely be Midoriya. He may be the last successor of One For All. And I expected this. I'm pretty sure everyone expected this. My Hero Academia 2 is what we were thinking about, but we were expecting it to be continued with the same original characters. So that's perfectly fine. He may be the last. I can work with that. Whatever. It's cool to me. However, only thing that gets me at the end of this chapter is Nana asks one thing. Izuku-kun, are you able to kill Shigaraki Tomura for me? And I love it. I'm intrigued. I'm excited. Like, this chapter, essentially filler to me. I don't care. Nah, I'm kidding. This was cool. It was cool to see. It was cool to meet Hokage. It was cool to see the other two possible future One For All users or secret past One For All users, whatever in between. It was cool seeing them, even though there's just nothing explained about them. They're just mystery characters at the moment. It's cool seeing every other user. It's cool seeing what the dimension looks like now that we're establishing that quirks have their own little dimension that they stay in. And all that's cool. All the reasoning behind why One For All works just fine with quirkless people and not with quirk people. All that really, really cool. However, the most intriguing thing to me is obviously Nana asking Izuku to murder her grandson. And here's the thing. I think there are two hypothetical reasonings for this. One, she's triggered. Like, she's mad that Shigaraki ended up being the biggest bad villain that inherited the will of All For One of all people, the person she tried to kill and honestly just ended up failing doing and killed her. She's mad that he aligned with him and is now just using the power that's a direct opposite to what she used, and she's mad that it's all her fault, and she wants Izuku to rectify the mistake that she couldn't fix, the mistake that she made and that she let pass. However, I think another hypothetical explanation is that she's just trying to give Izuku the willpower to do it, because I feel like her meeting Shigaraki was like the breaking point. This copy of Nana meeting Shigaraki was the breaking point in her understanding. Like, obviously she loved her son. The only reason she let him go was still saying that Gran Torino is Shigaraki's grandfather, by the way. I see it too much now. But the thing is, I can definitely see that Nana loved her kid. She just had to let him go because of the dangers of the hero world. However, due to that, it created Shigaraki, the biggest threat ever. And what she's afraid of is probably the same thing that All Might is afraid of. Even if she knows about All Might, yeah, she does, because they talk about All Might, them being able to view All Might's existence through One For All, these copies of the original users. So they've been viewing All Might, and they've likely seen what Gran Torino mentioned, that All Might is straight up unwilling to kill Shigaraki because of what he means to his master. Like, All Might doesn't want to kill Shigaraki because he's the grandson of Nana, who's his master, and he has strong feelings about that, so he doesn't want to kill her. So I feel like either he doesn't want to kill Shigaraki, and I feel like what Nana's trying to do here is give Izuku the resolve to realize that him saving Shigaraki, him trying to bring Shigaraki back from the darkness, is pretty much an impossibility, and that he has to die. Like, this is the same case with, in my mind, the Fire Lord from Avatar and Aang. Izuku is a massive hero, bare bones. Like, he doesn't believe in killing, he doesn't believe in, I mean, he absolutely smashes people, but he doesn't believe in, like, you know, the ultimate justice, which is taking out a villain the permanent way, the they aren't coming back way, the don't worry, you don't have to send them to jail, you have to send them to the morgue way. And I'm not fine with that, obviously, because I think Shigaraki needs to die. I think All For One needs to die. I think a lot of villains need to die because of how dangerous they are. And you keep them in a state like Tartarus, and look what happened. They broke free, and now they're causing havoc across the entirety of Japan. Like, they're going nuts. So I understand what Nana's about to do. However, I'm shocked Nana was the one to say it. If anything, I expected the original Vessel to say it. One of the other ones. I feel like her saying, hey, yo, do me a favor, kill my grandson, is like, I understand why, but I'm still kind of shook. But regardless of that, I'm intrigued. Can't wait to see where that's going. It's cool to see all the previous users. I hope we get some explanation for those two that are standing off to the side. I hope Midori just doesn't ignore them, and like this is just more baiting for us as the reader. Because honestly, I just want answers. But honestly, that's it. This chapter, I mean, like, theoretically it has a lot because it talks about why All Might was able to live so long, one for all, because he was quirkless and all this stuff like that. But this is stuff that it's clarification on ideas that like the series has had, which is cool. I like clarification. I always like my things being explained. But in terms of interest, the interest for me at least isn't high enough for me to be like, yes, this is such pertinent information that I had to know and I care about fully. It's cool stuff to have. But the only thing that really interests me the most about this chapter is hearing their backstories, learning more about their characters themselves, seeing how they interact, and obviously Nana wanting Shigaraki dead. But that's about it for me. I don't necessarily have any theories. I'm just going to wait for 305 before I start talking thoroughly more in depth, because I feel like we're very loose. It's very much an intermediary chapter, so I'm excited to see what the future holds. But tell me what you guys think about this. You think it's a good chapter? You think this is a bad chapter? What do you think? Where do you lean? Are you excited to see more? Or do you think that all this quirk nonsense is getting a little bit too nuts? Because I think it's getting a little bit too nuts, but that's just me. Regardless of that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.